first window which will open after launching MicroStation is called Work Page. This entire page is known as Work Page, and it is used to manage workspaces and worksets. They are here. Like these are from here. You can filter your workspaces and worksets. So what exactly are these workspaces and worksets? They are nothing but container of your DGN files and other related resources. Let us say we are working with different government agencies in India, maybe in Indian Railways, NHAI, and Airport Authority of India. Then what we will do is create a workspace by each of these names, and for individual projects, create a workset within these workspaces. Let me just quickly give you an example by creating a new one so that it becomes more clear to you. I'll come here and select create workspaces from here. I'll give it a name, say Indian Railways, and it will take root folder. By default, it takes this path, but you can change it maybe to C drive. So I'll just put C drive here and see. Root folder will be C drive. Then it will create a workset within it by the name of Indian Railways, and there will be standards and standard subfolders. Let me just click OK first, and then I'll show you in the folder structure how it happened. See, this is the one I just created. So there are two folders created within that. One for standards. So if you want to set your standards for Indian Railways, you will put all those files within these. Maybe cells, maybe DGN libs. I'll discuss what these are in detail later on, but just to mention here. And all your files, the working files, will go within worksets. Okay. So since we have not yet created a workset, I'll go to MicroStation and create one. I'll create for, say, Pune station. Okay. So see, below here in the root folder, in C, Indian Railways workset, a folder called Pune station will be created. And within that workset, we will have our DGN file folder, our standard folder, and standard subfolders. I'll click OK and again go to the path to show you. See, first when we checked this one, there was nothing inside worksets, but right now, Pune station workset has been created with DGN files, the outputs, and standards. So anytime you start any project and you receive some standards or stuff like that from the client, you should put it here. Okay, I'll go again to MicroStation. Yes. So for this session, I've already created one workspace and workset to like go with this session. So I'll start with that. The workspace name is webinar, and the workset name is MicroStation demo. And also all your recent worksets are listed on the left-hand side. And from within your this work page, you can browse certain files in your workset and also create a new file. So I'll start with this msdemo.dgn. Once you are inside the product, let me just go quickly with the entire interface, what it is all about. When we click on this file button, what we reach is a page called Backstage. Here we can open new files, create new files, open files, save as, save settings. Just a quick note here, MicroStation don't need saving files because it automatically saves file at every instant. So we don't have to use it that often. Save settings is a good feature. Like say you have made some changes in units, working units, or some view orientation in your file, then it's always mandatory to click on save settings. It's also available on the quick access toolbar from within the DGN file. Then there are features like tools to compress file, to protect your file with a password maybe, and batch process. Then there are settings for users. these are like interface related settings, like how you want your AccuDraw to function, how you want your button assignments, your function keys, your shortcut keys, and preferences, maybe look of MicroStation, its background, black, white, or any other color. So stuff like that is handled from this tab, settings, user, and user specific settings. Then this setting is for tablets. So I don't think anyone is using a tablet right now. So I'll move to file. Uh, then file will be having settings related to your DGN file specific, like the units you want to work with, or the angle readout, stuff like that. So it's handled by these tabs. I'll just show you small from here. Like see how my working units are set to master units, and my master unit is meters currently, and my subunit is millimeters. And then we have configuration. So it has having options for configuration variables, which is like usually the CAD managers in the organization handle it, because they are quite specific. They tell the program to run in a specific way to open certain files or attach files. So it is related to that. And the customize option is for customizing your ribbon. So anytime you feel like you want to customize your ribbon or put some tools in, you can use this one. So that was all about Backstage. Now I'll come to the interface part from here. Like you can see, it's all a ribbon interface. Like we are aware from Microsoft products, ribbon with tabs at top, and then it's like groupings here, and then individual tools we have. Okay, so also, if you feel that you need to change your tab, but want some specific grouping to be there, you can pin it, just right click and pin it to that group. Okay. And here's a search ribbon. If you want to search for any tool, if you know the name, you can just search it from here and launch that command from here too. So it's just a quick search bar. Then at the top, you will see this option called drawing. Actually, it's a workflow drop down. Since it's a 2D file, we are only able to see drawing. But later on, I will show you how in a 3D file, we will have options for visualization and modeling too. And just next to it, we have a quick access toolbar for the most frequently used tools. So once I'm in session, if you feel like you don't want to navigate too much with your mouse to go to these tabs, we have a pop-up menu which will appear if I press space. See this one. So all these tools located on the top, these imitate these options available here, like attributes, primary, selection, placement. These are all available here as well. Then in the second row, I'm having options like select, then move, normally my manipulate commands. And in the last row, I have things like measure and place text, dimensioning, etc. Then on my left side, you can see I have docked my level manager. Many of MicroStation's dialog box are dockable. So however you want to use your real estate on your screen, you can just like dock them anywhere you want. So I like to keep my level manager on the left side. Similarly, I have kept my cell library on the right side toggled, and I've pinned it so that when I want to reach it, I just hover over here and it appears. From here, I just explore my cells. Then I'll discuss the tool settings window, tool settings dialog box. This is very important because anytime you select any command on MicroStation or any tool on MicroStation, a tool settings dialog box will appear. It depends on the tools we have selected. Okay, so element selection is by default. If you will press escape, if you have put your settings in preferences that escape is coming out of a command, then escape will take you back to this element selection. Then I'll discuss about a feature called KeyIn. Let me just show you. It's located here in the primary ribbon. What KeyIn is, like, it gives the it's kind of a syntax and gives the software an instruction. We don't use it that often for normal tools like place smart line or stuff, but there are instances which I'll show you later on where KeyIn can be really useful. I'll just show you an example here. Say I want to place a line, maybe. So as soon as I will click PL, it will autocomplete itself. I can hit spacebar and move to the next part. Now you must be seeing some columns here, like this one and then this one. So it's giving me options what I can place next. So whatever I want, maybe it's a line, a simple line. I'll just press LI and it will take me to the third option. I want to do it by angle or by constraint. I'll pick constraint and click enter. And my tool settings dialog box will appear with the required settings. I don't recommend that we use it for things like smart line or circle, but for specifying coordinates and stuff, it's quite useful. And I'll use it later on during a project representation. Then moving to this part. This part is known as view attributes bar. Here you will have options for your view attributes. Maybe you want to turn on your ACS, which is like the coordinate, your 0, 0, or other things like I have weights available, line weights in this particular DGN. So I can turn that off from here, maybe line styles or text. If I don't want them to appear here, I can toggle these things off from here. Then there are things like this one is display styles. It's very useful in 3D specifically when we want to like do rendering and stuff. Then this one is for brightness. These are normal zooming tools: zoom in, zoom out, fit view, rotate, view previous, and view next. So you'll use it very often to navigate within your project. Then this particular bar here, it's called view bar, and it is having options for, say, go to a previous view, even a previous DGN. Say currently I'm in msdemo.dgn and I want to go to a DGN which I was working before. I'll just click here and go to the next one. Then here is a cool feature specifically in MicroStation. Like we can have multiple models within a single DGN. Just like here you can see I have multiple models which I have created to demonstrate various features today. So from within one file, you can have multiple models, and they are independent of each other. They can have different units. They can be either 2D, either 3D. So they're not dependent on each other. So if you just like Excel, you can assume like you have sheets and within worksheets, and within that you create sheets, right? So it's kind of that. So it's a nice feature. Then I'll just show you what these views are. MicroStation can have up to 8 views of a single model. I'll just delete this one and show you one thing. Say I've created, I will click on this number 2 and fit view. See, the entire drawing which I had here is also appearing here. I'll just select number 3, number 4, and I'll just tile them so that it comes quite nicely. Say you are working on different regions, okay, and you have a big monitor. You want to move, draw a line or do something from there. Then maybe on the upper part here, on the right side here, on the left part here, and here I can have my entire drawing. Okay, then what I can do is I can draw from one part to other part like this. It's a very cool feature. You don't have to navigate again and again, like going from one part and then drawing. You can open multiple windows and do it from there. For right now, I'll collapse it for demonstration purposes so that we have maximum screen space. Then at the extreme bottom, this bar is called status bar. So whatever you will do in MicroStation, any command you choose or anything you do, this particular space will give you prompt what you need to do next. Say I want to place a line, I'll press the first corner, and then it will ask me to press the next one. So for any command, you can get the prompts from here. Then this space give messages, say we are getting some errors or something, they will appear here. This is your AccuSnap. AccuSnap I have also toggled here. I'll just come to it right after this. Then this place gives your levels, what levels you are in. It's also here, but it's also located here. Then this place gives your running coordinates, like where you are in your space. And right now I've turned on position. There are other options too, like we want to measure distance or check a delta or something. I can toggle that one on. Then this one thing I want to tell you, it's quite important, and you'll face this while using the software. This space, if you're able to see this one, it tells you where your current focus is. Depending on that, you'll be able to use your shortcuts and mouse operations. Okay, so there are functions keys starting from function F9 to F12 with different purposes. I'll just show you that. So if I'll click function F9, my KeyIn window will come. So if I don't want to go here and select from this part, I can just click function and F9. This window will appear. If I do function F10, it will bring focus to this tool settings dialog box. Say I want to change my segment from lines to arcs. Okay, no need to come to this part. You can do it from your keyboard up and down key, but just make sure that your focus is on this tool settings dialog box. Okay, then function F11 is AccuDraw. It's very important. It will help you draw stuff on MicroStation. I'll discuss this straight away after this. So anytime you want your focus to be on AccuDraw, just press function F11. And then there is function F12 for home. Let me just show you a function and F12. This is home tab that was appearing. So I'll now move to discuss about mouse operations. Like you must all be aware of that, like zooming in, zooming out, normal operations from mouse scroll wheel, the panning by dragging the mouse button. The left button in MicroStation is select if you want to select anything, and the right button is reset. If you want to select anything like multiple objects, then I'll drag from maybe left to right. And this is inside. So anything which is inside will be selected only. And when I'll drag from right to left, it's overlap. So everything which is overlap, which will be selected. Okay. Now just briefly discuss about file types. What are the various file types that we work in MicroStation? So there are three. .dgn, which will be the most widely used by all of you, which you will use more often. A new drawing file, that will be dgn. Then there is a file called dgnlib, dgnlib. It's for your resources, like standards, rather than doing everything from scratch. Your text styles, your dimension styles, your things like levels, you'll store it in dgnlib. Let me just show you by folder structure. As I have showed you before, within this work set, if I go under standards, I have option for dgnlib. Here I will store all my standards. And the extension, as I mentioned, is dgnlib, lib. And the other one, the third kind of file we have in MicroStation is called .cel. It's a cell file for your cells. I'll explain cells later in this session. Let me just go back to MicroStation. Okay. So let's elaborate a bit on DG and LIB files. Okay, I'll just open one for demonstration purpose. Here I've created a DGN lib called civil.dgnlib, which I'll open. See, DGN libs are usually handled by CAD managers or people who set these standards so that the users don't change it by mistake. And things like text styles, like various text styles that you use to annotate your drawings. You can save it in DGN lib, your dimension styles. Like I have just one here, standards. So anything, if you define, you can save it here and share it with your team or your clients. Then there is a thing called level manager. Just a moment. This one, level manager, where you define all your levels. Say you're working on a roadway project and the levels you'll create before starting your projects and share with your team so that all of the team are on the same page. So after DGN lib, I'll just try to explain what seed files are. I'll just create one for you. Anytime you create a new file, let me just go back. Just a moment. Say I'm in this workspace and workset, and I want to create a new file. It asks for a seed file. Seed file is nothing but a template which will save your settings like units, your geographic coordinate system if you assign one, and like your coordinate systems, auxiliary coordinate system, then things like models. It will all be saved in your seed files. So no need to create or set these things from scratch when you start a new project. Okay. I'll just go back to the file I was showing you. And yes, please feel free to put your queries on the chat window. We'll discuss it at the end of the session, after an hour maybe. So as I've showed you earlier, this from my primary ribbon group, this is my level manager dialog box. You can create new levels, just simply click here, create a new level, maybe name it anything, test, give it a certain color, align style, align weight, and it will start appearing and you can use it in your current project. Level manager is the place where you define your levels. And similarly, there is a thing called level display, which I've docked here on the left side. Actually, it tells you the levels which are currently in use. So if you can see, if I scroll this down, the one with a dot sign in it are being used currently. I can maybe turn off something. See, if I turn it off, it will not appear in my design space. So it's a nice feature. And I've like from right click, I've selected elements. So it shows me how many elements are on that particular level. So it's a nice feature. If anytime you want to know how many features are on a particular level, you can use this one. Now let's change my model to AccuSnap. Let me just quickly show you the various snaps. Most of you must be aware, but just to like give a demonstration. So all your snaps will be located either here at this part, or you can also dock it here. I've docked it here. So a cross sign, if it's like not grayed out, means we can snap. I can snap to stuff. See, if I'll click here, then I won't get that snap options. So usually we keep it open.